Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. So many of you really enjoy the tips of the week and you look forward to them when I publish them. But a lot of you haven't seen all the tips. Maybe you've seen some but not all. So I went back and I picked out some of the best tips of the week that you all really love and I want to share them with you. So let's get started. A while back, a viewer left a comment that she was very frustrated with trying to put her fusible interfacing on the back of the fabric. She was having problems with a lot of lifting and bubbling. Well, let's first go over the basic steps of fusing this onto the fabric. So let's take a look at the interfacing. Now for this demonstration, I'm using heavy iron-on interfacing because that seems to be the one that I have the most problems with. So you have a dull side on one side, and then on the shiny side is where the glue is. Now your fabric, this is the front side of the fabric, or often called right side, and then here is the wrong side or back side or not so pretty side. You're going to put the shiny glue side on top of your fabric. And then you take a cloth, and it needs to be a damp cloth. So what I usually do is I keep a spray bottle of water and then just really douse it really good. Okay, you can't oversaturate this. Okay. Then the instructions tell you to take your iron and hold it in place for anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds. It all depends on what your manufacturer says. I usually hold mine 15 seconds, sometimes 20 seconds. Then lift and you move it again. And you keep doing that until it's completely fused on. And then I'll just kind of go back and forth just to make sure I got all of the edges. Now, as I look at the back of it, I don't see any bubbling, and I'm going to turn it over to the front, and there's no bubbling. And you always want to let it cool off before you sew it into your project because the glue needs to dry, so let it cool down. Now, here are some more pieces that I've done. They're small pieces and there's no lifting at all. They went on very smooth. On some of them, there's a little bit of lifting near the edge. I don't worry about that because that's either going to go into a seam or very near a seam. Where I find I have the problem with fusing is when it's a really large piece. So let me show you what I do. So the piece I'm showing you is really not as large as what I have when I'm making a table runner. This is just to show you the method I do for pressing. But I have the biggest problem of getting my heavy iron-on interfacing on making a table runner. So here's how I go about it. So I have my fusible interfacing on there, a damp cloth, and I'll go ahead and fuse this end on. Now I've already fused it on a few minutes ago. So now I need to move my cloth and go to the next spot. So before I do that is I will lift the interfacing like this, take the iron and push against it, and then hold it in place. And then after I've held it in place long enough, I'll move it to the other place. Once I think it's fused on, I'll go back and forth. Now, why did I have to lift it? I found that what happens is there's pockets of air that gets trapped. So you need to push it out. So I will continue that process all the way down the table runner. I'll keep lifting, fusing it on, and smoothing it out. Now, you still might have some bubbling. It's not a perfect solution, but it helped to keep it way down. If you've been going through your little bag of presser feed and other accessories that came with your sewing machine, I bet you have something like this in there, and you're probably wondering what you use it for. Well, let me show you how to use them. If you're using spools of thread like this, I want you to look at one end. And at the end, there's this little slit. So when you first buy a spool of thread, the end of the thread is inside of there, and you have to pull it out to get started so that your machine can continue unwinding it. But often people tell me that the thread gets jammed in here and breaks. So you want to take and put your spool of thread on your machine. Then you want to put this on the end. You want to make sure you select a disc that's wider than the diameter of your spool of thread. And what happens is, as the thread is being pulled through the machine, it's being pulled up and over this so it doesn't get caught in that little slit. Now you have a smaller one. You don't want to use this one on this size of thread spool because it's going to jam. This one is meant for really small spools of thread. Try it. This is a book on using grommets on your home decor, and the title is Home Decor Using Grommets. I bought it at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. It was in the clearance section, so I don't know if it's still there. But I just looked on Amazon in the book section, and you can get it, and it was a little under $9, so it's really reasonably priced. In this book are some really cool projects for decorating pillow, lampshades, bathroom decor, kitchen decor, everything you can think of. And I've made the drapes with the grommets. I put grommets on clothing too. And if you're interested in seeing how I put it on a t-shirt, there's going to be a link listed below your YouTube screen. So you want to just scroll down to the description section, click on Show More or the down arrow, and you'll see that link. So let's take a look at some grommets. Grommets are also eyelets. They're the same thing, and the method for putting them on is almost identical. So here are some large eyelets, and then here are extra large eyelets. And then this is the tools that you use, and you also need a hammer. So let me show you how to set your fabric up. So on the back of your fabric, before you apply the grommets, you want to put some interfacing back there. I used a Fusible because it's going to be a lot easier. It can be a light to medium weight fusible interfacing. So there are two sections to your grommets or eyelets. This one is very tall, and this one's got little teeth on the back. The one that's tall is the one that's going to go on the front of your fabric, and this one here with the teeth is going to go underneath. So you take the tall one, so on the front side of your fabric, put it down, and I put little dots where I want my grommets or eyelets to go so that I know everything's centered and marked correctly. Then take a pencil and trace around the inside. So you wind up with this small circle like that. Then you're going to take your fabric and bend it in half in the middle. Take your scissors and cut a little slit in it. And then you're going to continue cutting this fabric out in the center. Take your grommet section that is for the front, that's the tall one, and here's the front side of my fabric. I'm going to take it and just push it down over it. Take this round piece, and it has a little groove going around it. It's called the anvil. You want the side with the deep groove in facing up. Take the front section of your grommet and put it down. And it's going to fit right in that little groove so that it stays in place. Then take the piece that has the teeth on it, bring it over, take this little tool, put it right down in the center, and then hold your grommet in place. And with a hammer, you're just gonna zap it. So this is what it looks like from the front, and then here it is on the back. The small eyelets are put on the same way. And you can get these, I bought mine at Walmart. You do have to buy a separate kit for this one. This kit here to install it will not fit these. Well, I hope you enjoyed those tips of the week and that you learned something new. Now, if you would like to see more of the tips, and I have a lot of them, those links will be listed below your YouTube screen. Scroll down to the description section, click on Show More or the down arrow, and you will see the links appearing. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.